Hey guys, I am back. Whew, so it has taken me a minute to try to figure out whether or not I should even talk about this because there are some aspects of this story that I may not be the most comfortable with. It has nothing to do with sex and all of that jazz, as you can see within the title. However, when I don't really understand certain aspects of an OBE that I have, I try not to really talk too much about it because I kind of like to be the master of all that I survey. So, but I really think that I know enough to talk about this. It's about Mall World. I believe I broke my sister, or at least myself, as well as possibly another cluster member. We broke my sister out of Mall World. What the hell is Mall World? So let's, I guess, let's get into it. I don't know if any one of you have ever heard of the terms Mall World, but if you have looked on Reddit or have scrolled through YouTube and have looked up anything with regard to dreams that recur and possibly dreams that other people have, like people are in Mall World, like hundreds of thousands and possibly even millions of people at this point have experienced Mall World at least to some degree. I believe I may have even gone. What is it? Well, ultimately, it's an energetic harvesting station in general, okay? But what is it? Okay. So, what it is a place that keeps our consciousness, or at least our awareness, subdued and in a place that is very familiar. For example, in a mall where we are looking endlessly for different things. If you're in the mall section, you may be going up and down escalators, elevators, going to the theater. People are seeing their loved ones and people that they have people out of their whole lives have been in this specific theater watching a movie in which they've never that they can't see, but everybody else seems to be looking at the damn movie, but the screen is black. I'm hearing also my sister, as a matter of fact, she told me that she experienced the school, and in the school she sees different members of our family, cousins and whatnot, at the age in which she was in school. Some of our cousins are a little bit older than us, and so but they were still in school too. Also, the school had a different air about it, a lot of angst, anxiety feeling, like you are late for a class, or you are you have to hurry up and try to take a test that you really don't know what the hell is on the test. It's stuff like that. The morning after I broke her out, she got up that next morning, and I got up the next morning because I was excited about telling her, "Oh my God, Tina, I saw you in another out of body experience, and this, then the third happened, and you followed me through a mirror, and so on and so forth." So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the my side of what happened, and then I'll come back and kind of try to tie all of this stuff together. So I have this OBE come out of my body. And the place looks very similar to this. It's like the etheric plane. It looks very similar to my room. And I see my sister over there by that door. And I also see another young man but he seems like he's leaving at the time. He's going through the mirror. Another mirror that was right there where those trees are was a mirror. And so he leaves, goes through the mirror, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I need to follow him. But then I see my sister, right? My sister is trying to get me to come with her. She's like, Tony, you got to come with me. And I'm like, I'm for the life of me, I'm like, what the hell do you know about what's going on to begin with? Why do I need to follow you? And of course, I follow my higher mind, my higher self. And it's telling me I need to go through the mirror. You know, I have this fascination with mirrors when I come out of my body, right? So I'm like, I'm not going with you. No. So I tell her, look, well, why don't you come with me? So as a matter of fact, I start going through the mirror, but in the mirror, there's this, it was a cart on the other side, like this covered cart with wheels. Now, mind you, I didn't know it was a cart at the time until we started to move. But I get into the car, go through the mirror, get into the car. My sister is kind of like halfway in and halfway, like she's leaning in. Tony, come with me, come with me. And I'm like, look, Tina, no, you come with me. So she listened and she hopped, say, just hop on in. She hopped in the cart with me. So we're like squeezed together in this little cart thing. And she's like talking, is like saying something that I couldn't recall. I can't recall at the moment. But the moment she gets in, the lid to the cart closes. And of course, I mean, it's light. I can see, but it was relatively dark in there, and I'm kind of like just listening to my sister say talk. And I'm telling her, I start smelling the stench while she's talking. Baby, that breath. Oof. Um, I said, Tina, your breath is some bad. So she said, so she starts laughing. She said, oh, my breath stink. I'm like, yeah, girl, yeah, it smelled, and it smelled of like morning breath, kind of, but like a mix of poo and sulfur, like egg decay. That's the best term. Decay. It was smelled like decay. And so she was just like, oh my God, all right. So she stops talking. The smell of decay and or ultimately of death, it comes from areas of stagnation within the lower astral plane. So my sister in this case, because she was coming from, or rather she was traveling through the mall world, she carried a lingering scent of, well, the stagnation of mall world. It really it ultimately it stinks. It has a very, very, well, it smells of decay and death. Now, there are areas of mall world that I'm, from my understanding, I've heard different stories where they smell popcorn in the movie theater, and also within the mall itself. Those places can have certain smells, but the overall smell of mall world is that of stagnation. All right, part of that area is made by the users themselves, although they don't realize it. They're energizing it. So but the people that are using that energy to create mall world, like, well, bureaucracy, matrix, well, they're using that energy and then also absorbing the leftover extra energy from the millions of people that are actually inhabiting mall world at any given time. Okay, so that is the main thing about sense. Smell represents some sort of an energetic, it represents an energetic frequency as well. It does. People that don't look very good in the astral represent something as well, a sort of some sort of, they render as an energetic being that is just, that don't mean you any good, in so many words. All right. We can call them monsters and things like that, but by and large, souls and entities, you know, we can usually suss out who and what means us harm. Well, harm is relative, but, and who means us good. And in the case of this small world area, it has a certain smell, and it is of stagnant energy. So the cart is moving while we are having this conversation, right? So it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, and then eventually it stops. Once it stops, I figure, okay, well, I guess we can get out now. So I opened up the lid to the cart. I don't know why I asked my sister though, but because I don't recall her taking anything with her upon entry of the cart. But I was like, look, Tina, take everything with you. Make sure you know, because we're about to leave. Let's get out of here. So we both get up and get out. The moment that we leave, I see these two look like Hispanic guys. It was like we were in an alleyway between two huge, like large buildings. Like we were behind a stadium, like, yeah, it was like a stadium, but we were outside. So you could see the concrete and all of that stuff, that, like, you know, the edifice of it, the building structures. We leave the cart. The one of the Hispanic guys, it was almost as if the moment the cart arrives, he didn't see me. I told my sister to grab her things. She gets out. I'm like, he comes up to the cart and starts looking and rummaging through the cart. And I'm like, wait a minute, what are you you know, like, what the hell are you in our cart for? Now, mind you, I don't know. I just figured something in there was worth him rummaging around through. From what I understand now, I kind of had to research into that. Like, why would an entity or another soul look through and rummage through our things? And of course, bingo, energy. We apparently may have left, or he may have thought that we left some things in there that may have carried some energetic residue, because we were in what is considered the lower astral plane, right? Usually entities in that area, some of them are scavengers and they will look for energy. And if there's an energetic being around, typically there's some energy that is left over. So he's rummaging through, and I'm looking in the cart, and I'm looking like, what the hell's in the cart that you know, now he didn't see me, but I'm trying to stop him. I'm like, hey, chill out, get out of my cart, you know. I grab him like, hey, chill, you know, but that did absolutely nothing, because my touch didn't seem to register at all to him, which led me to believe I was vibrating at a different frequency. So at that point, my sister was already kind of walking in the opposite direction. And I'm like, well, whatever. So it's time to go, whatever. I walk behind her, and then I end up coming back into my body. That very next morning, I tell my sister, you know, oh, you know what? I saw you in outside of the body again. You know, you were in your OBE state, your subtle body. And she was like, oh, you know what? I was just about to tell you, you know, I wanted to tell you about my experience in Mall World, because she would tell me her experiences in Mall World all the time. But this particular time, she said she escaped somehow. She escaped, and of course, she explained her experience in Mall World. So this is the breakdown of what I understand has happened. My sister is a part of my cluster, I guess, my soul cluster. And remember what a soul cluster is: it's a group of souls that are typically around the same level. And we are on the same, I guess, journey or similar journeys to find ourselves, to learn, and whatever, experience what we're going to experience um, in a way that we could help each other down the same path. Sometimes cluster members will come back as a mother, a father, sister, brother, friend, girlfriend, wife, whatever, child. All right. We all kind of make the same loops into a life in a certain dimension, in a certain area. So in this particular iteration of my life, of one of my lives, I'm experiencing something with my sister, my current sister, which is a part of my soul cluster. Okay. But in a different life, possibly in a different dimension, a different planet, a different whatever, I may have had a life where I experienced other things, and another, you know, obviously a different life with a different member of our cluster, if that makes any sense. So clusters usually are approximately 7 to 10 members, from what I've read. Now, obviously, there are clusters with more, but or less. But ultimately, we all kind of come together, and we're trying to help each other level up. find ourselves, reconnect with aspects of ourselves, so on and so forth. So apparently my sister was stuck in mall world, because obviously she was stuck. She kept dreaming of this place for a while, and she was telling me about it. I've been trying to coax her to, hey, maybe you should try coming out of your body. And around those times, she started to become lucid, okay, within her dreams. Now, the problem when it comes to lucidity and mall world, when the system, the bureaucracy, the matrix determines that you are becoming aware of your situation, that's an issue for them. Now, why is that? Well, because they need your consciousness and your awareness to create a closed feedback loop. Okay? Imagine your awareness. Think of your awareness as like a cord with energy running through it, right? And as long as you are focused or your awareness is specifically on a part of any part of the of this mall, it keeps that energy flowing into the mall and then continuing to run through the mall. Now, do the entities, the souls that are in this particular construct, are they getting any of the energy themselves? To be honest, I really don't know, because we are generators. Okay, we create the energy to begin with that mall world is using to energize that particular place, right? So we don't necessarily have to be connected in order to create the feedback loop, but all areas of mall world is, well, it's energy. It is created, the energy that is being used to facilitate areas of mall world, the airport, the large, huge hotel, the obscenely huge amusement park with the huge rides that go up to the damn clouds, and the roller coasters going up to the clouds and just coming down. I mean, it's got some things in it. Now, there are areas where it may feel like a warm hug, an amber light that kind of shines throughout that area and that helps to keep these our souls, or entities within that area, subdued, kind of calm, and like everything is okay. I've mentioned something about the amber light before, like the light back there. I've mentioned this before. Yellow light always seems to be so nice and comforting and warm, and it keeps entities like us kind of, you know, copacetic, whatever, just real cool and tranquil. While other areas, there is a frequency of angst. Okay. When you feel the angst, we are releasing energy. All right. You're like, oh my God, frantic. What, I need to go to school. I need to go take this test. I need to do this, do that. Oh my God, I'm on this ride. I'm headed all the way up to the top of the roller coaster. We're getting ready to come down. Oh my God, fear, scare. That type of stuff, feeling like there is something that you should be afraid of somewhere within mall world. That's a way to exude or to extract more energy. It's because it's all, simply put, energy from the generators. And hell, if you have millions of people that are in mall world, you have millions of generators that are feeding into mall world, which helps it to expand and gets larger and larger and larger. And if you can think of it like this, there is the ability for the bureaucracy, to the matrix, they already know what it is that you've encountered in this particular dimension, because hell, you came to this dimension in specific to learn certain things. And then, because the matrix is a part of this area, they know exactly who you meet. They know, um what your fears are. They know what makes you tick, ultimately, what makes you scared, and so on and so forth. But if you become lucid in mall world, that breaks the cycle, that breaks the loop, the energetic circuit, if you will. How does it do it? Well, it simply takes your awareness away from things of the mall world, which essentially connects the loop. And literally it shuts off the energy from the generator, which is from us. If the generator has its awareness taken away, then, well, then it's not getting any more energy from that generator, if that makes any sense. It's what happens as a result of a lucid person in mall world. Okay, so the way it seems to be happening, it will create an area where you won't see anybody, almost like a maze of these walls, these dry walls. Some you have y'all. I know you guys have seen these areas where when buildings are coming up and the first little layers of wall that they put up, the drywall and all of that stuff that hadn't been painted yet, that they'll create corridors. But the main thing is they don't want you around other into other souls, because it's kind of like a domino effect. If you become lucid, you start acting weird, which means you start asking questions. And if you start asking questions to these other souls, they're going to become aware as well. So it tries to put you in a matrix, or a labyrinth of sorts, off to yourself with nobody around. So my sister was starting to get into those areas where mall world kind of shut her off from different other people, and instead she was left with herself and thought forms of her own thought forms. Everything else, all the NPCs, the other little energetic little creatures, um I would call them holograms, if you will, placeholders. They're just there. Some of the people that worked in those BS little shops and stores, they were NPCs. Ultimately, you can interact with them, but they aren't really souls. You had to be lucid enough to even want to get out. Most people are just so captivated with the area, or are so focused on the angst and that anxiousness and that ugh, and to where they don't even realize that they are really and truly either in a dream or in a lucid type um, area within their consciousness, um, a collective conscious area. That's kind of what it is. Uh, so so my sister, lucid, becoming more and more lucid every time she goes in. She's cut off from Mall World. I kind of grabbed her with my energy, or at least magnetically grabbed the resonance, resonation, both of our energetic resonance. It became more aligned with each other, and therefore she was able to come with me, and ultimately got her out of that loop of mall world. That her consciousness is now graduated to the reality, to a different reality, if you will. Okay. Since then, she hasn't gone back into mall world. Like, so heard stories of people that want to go back to sleep so they can go enjoy mall world, but it is an energetic harvesting station. That's just what it is. And wherever your consciousness goes, the energy flows. Remember that. Where your consciousness goes, the energy flows. So if you're looking to visit mall world, just know that it is a very strong possibility that one could get stuck there. If you are at a higher vibration, you won't be able to go, most likely, unless you know how to change your frequency. If your baseline frequency is too high, you can't settle in. You'll be lucid. You'll see it all. And as a matter of fact, because most of the time people with higher vibrations, baseline vibrations, they'll end up somewhere else anyway. But if you want to visit it, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a way to visit. Personally, I would like everybody to be able to, you can have the choice to go or not. I don't really think that people, if they really knew what was going on, they would just want to stay. As a matter of fact, most people don't know how to get out. And so I'm hoping that I say something today that might actually help someone to be able to get themselves out of that area. Like, for example, when you go to bed tonight, those of you that enter mall world all the time, you can listen to binaural beats. It's pretty simple. Put on some 40 hertz. Okay, now the reason I'm saying 40 hertz binaural beats is because, well, I ended up in a section of mall world one time, and they blocked off most of the mall to me. All I saw was one store, the sheetrock that was just up, and the rest of the mall was blocked off. And I saw a door leading outside. It was a glass door leading outside, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what the hell this is about. But the 40 hertz, it actually allowed me to fly within mall world, as well as it raised my vibration to a certain point. And so you have to out vibrate that area in general. And an easier way to do that is to increase the frequency that you are vibrating at. One way to do that is to listen to certain binaural beats. And while you are drifting off and going to sleep, your baseline vibration will at least temporarily increase to such a degree to where you just can't, you won't be able to go to mall world. Okay, that's just one way. Another way is to become lucid. If you can realize that you're actually in a dream, that is lucid. That means you are now becoming lucid. And as a matter of fact, you can focus on certain portions of mall world. Just stop, look, just look in a certain area and just stare. Have your awareness literally peer a hole into the structure of that mall world. And ultimately, it'll mess up, it'll break the loop as well. Ask questions. You can talk to other people now. Start asking a question. Hey, how you doing? What's your name? But da 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 da. Just different mundane questions. It'll break the loop. That's what you're trying to do. But ultimately, we want to raise our baseline vibration so that we can just out vibrate it to begin with, and you won't even end up in mall world to begin with. Okay. So I know this is a whole lot to take, and there's a whole lot to take in. But I broke my sister out of mall world, and to this day, she has yet to experience mall world at all. Now we're starting to get into how do I come out of the body, and I'm going to be helping her to experience out of the astral plane, outside things outside of the body, getting to know herself, bringing in all of her aspects, things like that too. And hopefully I can also help some, if not all of you as well, at least those of you that may be struggling to come out of the body. I'm coming up with some videos and things like that. I will be helping more on teaching you how to come out as well. So with that being said, y'all, I know I talked a whole lot. I hope I didn't confuse anybody or anything like that. But there is a way to get out of mall world. Okay. But it starts with an increase in the baseline frequency, in your baseline frequency, which means knowing who you are. Just the moment you realize that you are an energetic being, it happens automatically. You just, you get that extra boost of energy. Your core starts to ignite a bit hotter. And then the more and more you learn, the more you heal all of those layers of discord and angst and depression and sadness and different things like that. And those of you that are not depressed or sad, which is great, there are more things you can learn about yourself, why you do the things that you do, and how you can also help other people. You increase that your baseline frequency that way, and you can ultimately, you don't have to worry about going back to mall world, because ultimately that's what it is. It's an energetic harvesting station. Now, they don't, again, I've said this before, they don't get you with the fear, like the outright fear. Like, of course, there are nightmares and things like that, but there's only so much a person like that can, like the Matrix, can get out of scaring a soul to death. Ultimately, you scare them, you get a poof, a big piece of loosh, but the soul don't want to go back to that place. You feel me? So they create areas that are just kind of like places that you'll see on Earth, but a little bit, or maybe even a lot of bit better. They make you want to stay so that you can continue to generate, because your excitement can generate loosh as well for the Matrix. I hope this helps somebody. Until next time, take care.